Every literary person has read about William Shakespeare, the author of more than 3,000 remarkable plays and more than 150 poems. Over the centuries, his literary pieces have made such a deep impression in human race. All sorts of fancies, legends, and theories have been invented about their author. Others say that somebody other than Shakespeare wrote the works that bear his name. Such speculation is based on the assumption that little is known about Shakespeare's life. In fact, Shakespeare's life is better documented than any other dramatist. Shakespeare was born in Stratford-on-Avon on April 26, 1564. His father, John Shakespeare, a merchant, at one time active in the government town, and his mother, Mary Arden, who came from a prominent family from the country. He attended Edward Ford Grammar School, where he received special recognition in English, Latin, and the Bible. Thanks.
At 18, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, a 27-year-old daughter of a farmer living near Stratford. They had three children, a daughter named Susanna, and twins named Hamlet and Judith. We don't know how young Shakespeare supported his family, but according to tradition, he taught school for a few years. His two daughters grew up and got married, but his son died when he was 11. When Shakespeare left his family and moved to London, there is no evidence that his wife was ever in the city. It is uncertain. Scholars say that he arrived there in 1587 or 1588, but it is certain that he was very busy and successful in the London theatre in 1582. It is a mistake to think of Shakespeare as an obscure actor who somehow wrote great plays. He was well known even as a young man. He first became famous as the author of a bestseller and erotic narrative poem called Venus and Adonis, 1593.
He rewrote Hamlet from the 1600s to 1601. The tragedy, that of all of his tragedies, has provoked the most varied and controversial interpretations from actors, critics, and scholars. In the early years of the 17th century, while his financial affairs were flourishing and everything was apparently going very well for Shakespeare, he wrote his greatest tragedies. Othello from 1604 to 1605, King Lear as well as Macbeth from 1605 to 1606, and Antony and Cleopatra from 1606 to 1607. Because these famous plays are so preoccupied with evil, violence, and death, many people thought that Shakespeare must have been unhappy when he wrote them. Shakespeare did not write to express himself, but to satisfy the patrons of the theater that he and his partners owned. Shakespeare must have repeatedly given the audience just what they wanted, otherwise he could not have made so much money out of the theater. It is very doubtful for a depressed person to write plays like this. In fact, they would make their creator feel exhilarated rather than sad. Thank you.
The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Danish court that day. The king was in his grave and his son was not okay. So on the stricken son and heir of melancholy sat, for there seemed regarding mother that the chances were quite fat.
Oh, Hamlet, my dear nephew, why do you look so dark? I know that doesn't daddy cannot be able to do much. But like, must go on. Look at what she's my wife right now.
And that is in a far rear. My father buried in his grave, and my mom has ruined. To uncle, it seems that this is in my parents' bed, but I'm not full. Until I will play one for a while, because I cannot bear to see Miss Lindsay uncle's mouth. Other people will think I'm mad, but really I'll share to learn if my uncle has played fair, or if he has stacked the day.
Oh, Hamlet, dearest friend of mine, I have a tale to tell. These gods have seen your father, or a ghost come back.
Oh, when I work, you have to tell. I really have to know if my father let a word from me. Let's find him now. Let's go. It's cold and damp and dark and misty, but I don't see any ghost.
My lord, have patience and be a gracious host.
Oh, dames, come hear my tale, how I did disappear. As I slept on my ocean, my bro poor potion in my ear. Swear to me upon your life, my death you will avenge. I cannot sleep until I know my son gets my revenge.
Oh, Father, how I can promise I will make him pay, and that every uncle cloud will gladly slay.
This mind that he will not my lord, rest yourself.
My son, you act so strangely. Are you feeling blue?
Father, I'm also well. I thought you were too.
Are you upset I were your uncle? He has really been so kind.
Of course he has, dear mother. You think I'm blind? It's a thrifty sword, I see. To fill the wedding feast, he has used the funeral leftovers. Thrifty, to say the least.
Hamlet, do you love me? Will we marry? Will we wed?
Faithfulness, thy name is woman. Rather, I'll be dead.
Hamlet, please don't torture me. Please be sweet and kind.
Just forget me, sweetheart. You have helped me to lose my mind.
Father, since I go away, have you any good advice? I will only ask you once because I know you'll answer twice.
My son, you must be good and heed me when I say, don't lend, don't you borrow, lenders growly you repay. So have yourself a good trip and mind your peace and coast, and then come back to all of us when you have paid your dues.
Ophelia, I must tell you, do not wait for Hamlet's love. Princes are notorious and receive orders from above. Do not waste your love on princes, they cannot be true.
Oh, Laertes, but I still love him, and he makes me feel so.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, Hamlet's childhood friends, hang around with Hamlet to see why he's gone around the bend, and while you must buy, then report it all back to me, the understanding guy.
I think I'm sure my dad is right, and Claudius killed him dead. But maybe I just dream it all in my little bed. To be or not to be is easy. Healing will be hard. But I just want to be sure I must keep up my guard. I just want to be positive that Claudius is a crip. Then I quickly up him, the slimy little twerp. But if I'm wrong and Claudius is a crip and not a murder, then I will just feel terrible and I will hate to her. Some acting troupe has come to town. Perhaps they'll improvise.
A little motive plot to see Claudius' surprise. When a murderer sees before his face, he should react, and I can surely put him in his place.
The blood's afoot, the truth is mine, murder will occur. When I see his guilty face, then will fly the bird. Aha, here comes the very bit. Claudius is amazed. He will be much more upset when he sees me freeze. And now I know exactly certain that my father spoken true. And now I know exactly that what it is that I must do.
I should hide, my lady, this curtain on the wall. When Hamlet comes to see you, I will listen to it all. Tell him he must train it up, and he must fly right. Do not sugarcoat this and tell him tonight.
Yes, I will, Polonius. Your wisdom shines again. I will tell him straight out, regardless of his fate.
Mother, dear, you call for me? What would you like to say?
Your father you have offended, for this you have to pay.
My father? Oh, my uncle. I think you have it wrong. He'll never be my father, and you may not be my mother very long.
Hamlet, do not murder me. You will not murder me.
Murder? Oh, hell, murder. This can never be.
A rat behind a curtain. I'll kill it before it spreads.
My lady, he has stabbed me, and I fear I will soon be dead.
Oh, Hamlet, oh, my Hamlet, look upon what you have done.
Oh, it's just Polonius. I thought I'd killed someone.
You've killed our dear old counselor. Is that not bad enough?
Hardly. Kill a king and marry his queen? Well, that is really wrong.
What are you saying? Are you mad, my son? Sure, it's not true.
A third trace is left to you, of brothers you have wed. To end up in this counterfeit, the wrong one, that is dead.
Oh, say no more. If this be true, it's truth I cannot stand.
It is true, and you have slept with an insidious man.
My son, I hope you have not forgot. My killer lived yet. Swear to me upon. My killer lived yet. My wife is so confused and weak. This she does not get. Help her so she understand and get what beyond her guilt. Then you can pull your sword into Claudius to the hilt.
Oh, father, you're sick and pale. Oh, mother, don't you see? This is just a ghost of what my father used to be.
Hamlet, are you really mad? I don't see what you see.
It's what uncle did to the man my dad used to be.
Oh, son of mine, I fear this thing is strolling you off your brain. Will I ever have my son as sane as was before again?
Mother, I have not lost my mind. I have found it. And now, about my uncle. Will you take a bitter pill?
What is it you will have me do? Please tell me now, my son. What is it you will have me do? You know it will be done.
Sleep not again in uncle's bed, that he may tempt you to. It's diseased and poisonous. You and he are thought.
At the castle, a gentleman reports to Gertrude that Ophelia is waiting to see the queen. Gertrude says at first that she will not speak to her, but she changed her mind after a gentleman describes Ophelia's unhappiness and anxiety. When Ophelia enters, it is clear that the shock was Hamlet's rejection and Polonius' death have sent her over the brink of insanity. When Ophelia exits, Claudius tells Gertrude that Laertes had just arrived from France, bent on revenge for her father's death. A messenger soon confirms this report, saying that the people are now ready to overthrow Claudius and make Laertes king of Denmark.
The battle.
Claudius tells Laertes that Hamlet has freed Polonius and stood against Claudius' life. Insulted by Claudius, Laertes grabs on revenge. A messenger entered to deliver letters from Hamlet to Claudius and Gertrude. Hamlet announces in history he had returned to Denmark and will appear in person the day at the court. Claudius reveals a plot to Laertes which they can both get rid of Hamlet. The king will stage a fasting match between Hamlet and Laertes they secretly foil poison. Laertes agreed that Hamlet's death is just revenge for his father. Claudius make a bag of plan involving a poison drink that will kill Hamlet if the prince failed to be wounded by Laertes' foil.
Queen Gertrude enters, announcing that Ophelia has wronged herself. This news adds to Laertes' fury. The company entered, accompanying Ophelia's funeral procession. Laertes, graceful grief, leaps into his sister's grave. Hamlet comes forward crying his own name.
This is I, Hamlet the king.
Grappling furiously with Laertes. After the attendants separate them, Hamlet declared that he loved Ophelia. Claudius and Gertrude call him men, and the king tells Laertes to remember their plot.
A young garter tells Hamlet that the king has made a wager on the outcome of the facing vote between the prince and Laertes. Hamlet conveys his acceptance of the challenge. Horatio urges Hamlet not to fight, saying he believes the prince will lose. Hamlet, however, calmly assures his friend, saying he must accept his fate, whatever happens.
Claudius enters together with Jethro. Laertes and the rest of the party, and the preparations begin for the fencing battle. Hamlet addresses Laertes, reassuring him of his sincere friendship. As the two opponents square up, Claudius places the poison wine on the banquet table. When Hamlet scores his first hit,
When Hamlet scores the second point, Gertrude picks up the poisoned cup of wine and drinks his health, ignoring Claudius's whispered warning. On the third pass, Laertes wounds Hamlet. They both scuffle, changing foils in confusion. Hamlet wounds Laertes with the poisoned foil. Gertrude falls, crying out that she has been poisoned to drink. About to die, Laertes confesses to Hamlet the trick of the poisoned foils. In a fury, Hamlet strikes Claudius.
Horatio sadly blesses Hamlet as he dies.